Hi, this is Tom from Line 6 Australia, and today we're looking at how to create a patch from scratch on the new Pod Go. We'll be starting with a blank preset, we'll be changing the amp and cab models, and adding a couple of effects. So when you first get your Pod Go, you'll have a first preset up, and if you've experimented with some of your presets, you might want to create your own patch. Now, my first recommendation is setting up your patch with the equipment that you're going to be using. And for this example, I'm using a PowerCab 112 Plus. Now, if you click the top button here, this will take you from the factory to the user presets. So if I turn the dial once and then push down, I'm now in my user preset bank. All of the presets can be overridden, but for this example, we're just going to be using the user preset bank, which has a whole bank of blank presets. So from your new preset, if I can click the view button here, this takes me straight to the amp block, which I'm going to select. Clicking down on the second button brings up a list of available amps, which I can simply scroll through. I'm now just going to pick up an amp here, push down, and now we have the amp set up. And this comes up and loads up a cabinet and amp with standard settings. So straight out of the box, it sounds really good. Now I have obviously all my standard parameters below here. And if you see the dots here, I can page across to different parameters to change. So when you load up an amp, it also loads up a compatible speaker model. If I turn this dial, it takes me to this cabinet. You can of course change to different cabinets here, but I'm going to stick with the cabinet that it has preloaded. What I will recommend is experimenting with different microphone models and distance, as this can also drastically affect the tone that comes out. I prefer the condenser mic, I prefer the smoothness that it creates, and here we go, I've changed it to the 87 condenser. So, and again, I'm just going to bring the distance in a little bit. So I've set up a simple amp and cab patch. Now, once I'm happy with that, from there on I can start changing the effects that I wish to choose. Now, when every preset comes with a volume block, so I'll scroll across here. So we've got a volume pedal, a wah pedal, two blank blocks here, a send and return block, an EQ block, and again, two more blank effects blocks. Now, the great thing about the Pod Go is that all of these can be changed and moved around in the chain. For this example, I'm just going to load up a simple reverb block. So here, I click down on the blank block, and I have my list of all available effects. I scroll across to reverb, and for this, I'm just going to have a simple room reverb. And again, let's just see how that sounds just straight in. Now, for me personally, I just like to take the mix down a little bit on the reverb patch, and let's see how that sounds. So that's a nice ambience just to the amplifier itself. And maybe before the amp, I might want to choose a drive block that I can then kick in. And here I'm just going to use this one here. So now I've set up my patch. Now there are two options here. Obviously, very important, I want to save that patch. So if I click the two buttons here, I can actually then go into the save mode and click save. And obviously I can rename it to anything I want to. And now I've saved my patch to patch 1A. A really cool feature of the Pod Go is that if I wanted that as my template for, say, a lot of my patches, I can actually now click the Save button. And if I hold the Action button and click Save, every new preset that is named New Preset will now have that template. So now if I click to the next new preset, if I go back to View, it's got exactly the same chain that I created on the previous presets, and anything that is called New Preset will have that template. So that was part one of our Pod Go tutorials. Thanks for watching.